What's up, guys? So today we're going to be working on a Harbor Freight tumbler, media tumbler. A lot of people that are into reloading rounds, they're going to get one of these types of tumblers to tumble the brass and clean them. Or if you have some stuff that you want to get cleaned up that you don't necessarily want to use a sandblaster for, you can throw them in one of these tumblers and it'll all be taken care of and cleaned for you. So one of my first reasons for why I did this is I'm restoring a 1880s rifle, and I've got this all these pieces that I don't want to remove that tarnished look, obviously, because that's part of the value of the weapon with these old antique rifles. But I do want to get some of this rust off and have no shiny spots. I want it all uniform color, all uniform finish whenever I'm done. So I don't want to use a sandblasting cabinet, so I was in the market for one of these tumblers. Obviously there's millions of them around. They're all over Amazon. They're all over some of the other cheaper sites like Eastwood. But what I came down to was this tumbler from Harbor Freight, because mainly if I'm only going to use it for this one project, I did not want to be heavily invested into it, because I don't know what I'm going to be using it for again, because I don't reload. I don't do anything else that normally needs the use of a tumbler. So I figured if I use this, if it didn't work out, Harbor Freight's always got their 90-day policy. So getting into it, I put these parts in, and the tub that it comes with, this blue tub, after the very first time using it, I don't know if you can see, but these holes started to develop. All these little wear marks after the very first time even using this. So it was obvious to me that this was not going to last. So instead of taking it back, right now anyways, I figured I'd give a shot at upgrading it. And if that didn't work, I could slap on the old tub, take it back to Harbor Freight, get my money back. So I went from this to this. And unfortunately my camera died when I was doing the video of actually retrofitting this. So I don't have video for you guys, but I do have some photos that I'll be showing you up here, and showing you all the steps that I took to making this. When I was 3D printing this, this thing took about 35 hours, and there was a little ghost shelf that was inside of it. So you'll see here at the end is a bunch of stringing, because I was trying to print this shelf that was in the middle of nowhere that I didn't catch before, but that's fixed now. It was no big deal. Okay, right here, like I was saying before, the camera had died when I was trying to do the filming of taking this thing apart and everything. So unfortunately, the only thing I have for you is photos, but I'm gonna try to walk you through what I have here. This is what you have whenever you open up the bottom of the tumbler. Your silver piece right here in the middle is like a counterbalance. That's what swings around and shakes your whole unit. This is what you get whenever you take off that outer gray case. This is the bottom of the motor. After you take off these 4 screws that hold these carrier clips, and you can see that they're raised. Where the mount holes are on the motor, they're raised. You need to make sure whenever you put this back together that this tumbler weight, it can fully rotate without running into any of these objects on the side. You'll see these 4 aluminum spacers that are right here. This is the top of the motor, and you're gonna need to make sure that you put these back on whenever you put it back together. It's another view of the counterweight with everything off. This is what the tumbler platform looks like from the bottom once you got the motor removed. This is the stand when everything's removed.
If you look real close here, this is the rubber gasket that was between the original bowl and the top plate. You can see the indents, the Phillips head screws that mount the actual motor, and I used this to get my bolt pattern. This is getting it back together with the new tumbler bowl. You can see the screws right here that you're gonna guide into the motor. Again, make sure you put these spacers on before you try to mount the motor back to the plate. Your 4 screws here on the bottom. I put Loctite on them just in case so they don't rattle loose. I put Loctite on all the threads here. Counterbalance, put that back in place. Right here, make sure you mount this. This was loose and dangling around, and I mounted it right here to this one bolt for one of the springs. It's your bottom screen, and then you're done.
Not only did I 3D print a new tub, I 3D printed a built-in separator so that you pour the media out and it separate your parts. This 3D printed wing nut, it's got a little nut that's embedded inside there that has a nylon ring, so it's not going to come loose during operation. Reuse some of the washer and the O-ring. The lid comes right off, and there we go. You can see the capacity of this is greatly improved. It has a good curvature. I poured some media in here and strained it through the strainer to see if the sizes were good on the strainer, but I haven't turned it on yet and I haven't used it yet. Also too, I made this to the exact same size as the opening for the old tub so I could reuse the gasket. So I'm reusing as much as possible. One of the other things too that I noticed on a lot of people's complaints about these tumblers is this bolt that goes all the way through on the old tumbler that's also right here on the box. It mounts to this base plate, and one of the biggest complaints was that part breaking. So I decided to completely eliminate that possibility, and I took this apart, and this actually, you can see there's 4 mounting holes that are designed into it. This actually mounts right through this plate and right into the motor itself. So it's actually getting moved and pushed around by the actual motor instead of just the bolt that is holding it to a plastic surface here. So the stability on this is going to be a lot better, and it's going to be a lot less likely to break or have any issues. I don't know exactly how much volume this is going to hold, but it's definitely significantly more than what it came with. So we can at least know that that's going to get improved. So I'm going to plug it in and fill it up and see what we got. All right guys, so this is PLA Plus that this is printed with, and it has 4 outside walls and 4 inside walls that it's printed with on all sides. And the PLA Plus is very durable. It's definitely a lot more durable than this plastic. So it's gonna last a long time. It is not gonna wear down like that will. And even if you do get little wear holes or anything, it's easy to patch this, or I can always pour in some epoxy and I can like make a nice little seal around it, and I'm sure it'll work just fine. But here we go, let's see how it works. Look at that. Perfect. is not very loud now. I guess it all matters on what you have it sitting on. This is going to be out in my shop, so I'm not really worried about the sound. But looks like everything's working good. I'm going to pop the lid on and show you guys how it strains. So the lid, it has a lip here, fits right over the gasket, and then our made wing nut. Oh, actually, got the rubber on there. Alright guys, that's how we upgrade a cheap Harbor Freight Media Tumbler into something that's going to last you longer and it's going to work better for you. Down below I'm going to have a link for the STL file that I designed, so you can print it at home for yourself for free and be able to upgrade your own tumbler if that's something you want to do. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe. If you got any comments or any questions, just put them below and I'll answer them as best as I can. And if you can support the page anyway, it's much appreciated. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.